it comes to the economy, I often feel like a David facing an economic Goliath, a colossal impersonal force controlling our destiny from a distance.
Leave for many, the increased risk of forced layoffs and restructuring. Don't even get me started on healthcare costs. It's all part of the picture painted by the new books.
The middle class is disappearing. Check it out. We've been shrinking significantly since 1971, and our shopping carts might be partly to blame. Last year alone, middle-class spending reshaped market dynamics in ways we're only beginning to understand. Okay, now this isn't news. My parents used to talk about it back in the 90s, but I still don't understand why. Aren't we supposed to be the backbone of the economy? Without us and our endless consumerism, the world stops spinning? Or perhaps we brought this upon ourselves? Or even more unsettling, what if we don't even play a significant role in the macroeconomic equation? Nah, that can't be it, right? Clearly, I don't have all of the answers, so I decided to put an end to this chicken-egg situation and find out once and for all if we're contributing to our own decline, or if there are any external economic factors that initiated the shrinkage that prevented the middle class's ability to sustain itself. Because one thing is for certain, our economy has seen better days. We're often told to just hope for the best and continue to live our little lives, seemingly powerless to effect any real change. But then I remember a film, The Butterfly Effect. For those unfamiliar, it's a 2004 sci-fi thriller starring Ashton Kutcher. The film explores the concepts of chaotic unpredictability, where small changes can lead to drastically different outcomes, a theme rooted in the chaos theory's butterfly effect. Basically, the butterfly effect is the idea that tiny causes like the flap of a butterfly's wing in Brazil can have huge effects like setting off a tornado in Texas. So what if our tiny actions like buying our cat yet another plastic toy to add to his collection, or following the hottest trends on Instagrams are having a larger impact? Could these seemingly trivial choices ripple through the global economy, potentially destabilizing markets and exacerbating social inequalities? But before we get into that, let's talk about the big elephant in the room.
And it feels so good.
According to MJ DeMarco, market participants can be fundamentally divided into two categories, consumers and producers. Basically, if you're mostly buying stuff for your own use like groceries, clothes, or gadgets, you're a consumer. On the flip side, if you're the one making things, whether that's writing a book, brewing beer, or building bikes, you're a producer. You start the whole supply chain by using resources to create products, which not only fill up shops, but also create jobs and pumps up the economy. While it is tempting to view the economy through a binary lens of consumers and producers, the reality weaves through a more intricate tapestry of economic roles and responsibilities. Now, undoubtedly, the middle class falls under the consumer bucket, and consequently, producers fall under upper and wealthy class. Now, I'm not saying we're not allowed to buy that Starbucks coffee that you like so much or become extreme minimalisms. Purchasing is part of the economic activity. The problem arises with overconsumption and excessive debt accumulation. Now, these issues can lead to economic instability, and it is often the hidden cost of a consumer-driven lifestyle. So, are we overconsuming? The first major consumer boom in the US kicked off right after World War II. Between 1945 and 1949, Americans bought 21.4 million cars. In contrast, 2023 saw nearly 3.12 million car sales, excluding trucks and SUVs, despite a much larger population today. In the late 1940s, with a US population of around 140 million, consumption seemed higher than today's 330 million. However, deeper analysis reveals that the average American household now spends around 28% of their income on discretionary items. That's about 2.19 trillion compared to 193.5 billion adjusted for inflation in 1940. This is a massive increase, even when accounting for population growth. To put it in perspective, 2.9 trillion exceeds the GDP of all but 7 countries globally. So we are definitely over-consuming at a scary pace, but how did we get here? I think I might have just come across something that might help explain it. Algorithms have been a cornerstone of mathematical practice since the ancient Babylonians in 1800 BC, who used them for calculations like square roots. Over centuries, these mathematical rules evolved significantly. During the Middle Ages and Renaissance, they expanded within areas like arithmetic and algebra. By the 19th century, thinkers like Richard Dedekind and David Hilbert were formalizing concepts of computability and complexity. The 20th century digital revolution made algorithms crucial in computing, enhancing their design for broader applications. Today's algorithms drive many aspects of e-commerce by optimizing functions from product recommendation to pricing strategies, analyzing vast datasets to personalize consumer interactions. So the algorithm is turning us into shopping zombies, right? Well, the answer is not quite that simple. Although the algorithm does have the potential to reshape consumer behavior, it is only part of a larger system influenced by culture, media, and economic policies. Now, it is in combination with something that you're using right now when the picture becomes a bit clearer. There's no need for big presentations. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are all familiar faces, but it is here where it gets interesting. It is in the combination of mixing the potent brew of consumerism and the sneaky algorithms and the pervasive social media. Well, it's kind of like giving a bunch of hyper kids a box of matches. Things are bound to blow up. Now that we know the main players, think about the butterfly effect. Picture Sarah, a middle-class shopper, finding a cool phone case designed by Taylor. Even though her current case is fine, she loves a new one and orders it, getting it the next day. Excited, Sarah posts a video of her new find, which goes viral thanks to the algorithms. This creates a surge in demand as others, inspired by her excitement, hurry to buy. The trend spreads, and soon influencers and producers are promoting the products, leading to a flood of similar items. Demand soars, producers cut corners using cheaper materials that strain resources. The market soon saturates, the buzz fades, and the cycle resets, waiting for the next viral product. This chain of events, sparked by one post, shows the butterfly effect, small actions causing big, unexpected outcomes. What happens next is crucial. Consumers driven by the YOLO mindset and trying to keep up with the Joneses may fall into debt. As living costs rise faster than income, many in the middle class face financial peril, potentially slipping into poverty due to unsustainable spending driven by social pressure and aggressive marketing. A few break this cycle by shifting from consumers to producers, seizing opportunities to build wealth. However, for most, overcoming the initial barrier remains a tough challenge. So is it all gloom and doom? Are we destined to be nothing more than a memory at a museum, or is there something that we can do about it? Just like my blue friend Flick taught me, together we can change the world. I think we touched on several dimensions on how the middle class is evolving and changing, and these points of conversation can continue to expand, and I encourage you to explore them as we continue the conversation. And despite how the media might portray us as a bunch of passive, disorganized consumers, we're still the majority, and I believe by taking small actions like consuming less, producing more, shopping for sustainable products, and educating ourselves on what's going on in the world, I believe that just like a flap of a butterfly, our tiny actions can become agents of change. Thank you again so much for watching, and please leave a comment if you agree or disagree. I learned so much from you guys, and if you're also on a mission to leave the middle class and ascend to wealth, make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that this content can reach a larger audience. Again, thank you and have a good night.